Well, good morning, everyone. This is a Tuesday morning here, and I'm on the Pamba River with my elder first cousin and his relative here on a boat that's owned by my first cousin. And what a joy to be here. I'm reaching the last couple of days of my stay here in India. I've been here for the last 25 days. I started my stay, my visit to India from the state of Gujarat, where I went as my colleague was getting married, and I experienced a Gujarati wedding. And I had just a wonderful time in Gujarat, a couple of days there. And let me tell you something about the Gujarati people. One of the finest people that you can meet in India are the Gujaratis. They are very business-minded people, and they love to make money. They are very enterprising and very pragmatic people. You know, in Hindi, there's a saying, "Matlab ki baat karo." That's exactly who they are. They'll cut through the chase and come straight to the point. Okay, and I like people like that who don't beat around the bush but come straight to the point. Now, after Gujarat. Before I go there, let me tell you, another reason I was in Gujarat, in Ahmedabad, was to visit the Gandhi Ashram. Mahatma Gandhi is an amazing human being, was an amazing human being. He's known as the father of the Indian nation. He's a champion of non-violence, like the Lord Jesus Christ is. Mahatma Gandhi was a champion of non-violence. Let me tell you something about Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi won freedom for India. Today, I'm here along with my cousin and this wonderful uncle over here because we are free people. We live in India as a free people because we are independent of the colonial powers that ruled us once upon a time for more than 200 years. And what a joy to be a free human being. That's the same spirit that I and so many millions of people in the United States experience today. Freedom. Freedom is the greatest treasure in this world. That you can express yourself, that you can be free to practice any religion, any way of life you wish to, and above all, do good to mankind. That's what the United States of America is. Land of the free and home of the brave. And I'm so excited to be an American as well as an Indian. And to share these few words that I want to talk to you about. This is a kind of a summarizing of my entire trip to India. Why did I make this trip? Why am I gone for 25 plus days? Normally I should not be traveling because as a CPA, I am busy with my tax clients at this time of the year. But this trip was important, folks. This trip was important for various reasons. You know, my family and I have been experiencing a lot of bullying in Silicon Valley. We have been told, get out of this country, go back to India, water your buffaloes, you are rats from a third world country. Well, I traveled to 4 states. As I mentioned, I said I went to Gujarat. Then from there, I went down to Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is the Manchester of the South. It's a state that's the Manchester of the South. There's a lot of manufacturing activity that goes on in the state of Tamil Nadu in South India. I was in Chennai for a couple of days. I had some business meetings there. And then I proceeded to Bangalore, which is considered as one of the Silicon Valley cities in southern India. There's another city called Hyderabad. I didn't go there this time, but I went to, could you hold this down a little bit? Yeah, thank you. And so I went to Bangalore. I was there. I was impressed with the infrastructure facilities over there and the hardworking people from all over India who are down there working in IT technology and even services industry. There's a lot of new kind of vehicles that are being developed. All kinds of activities go on in Bangalore and in outer-lying areas of the state of Karnataka. And I was there for a few days. I met with some people. It was beautiful. I'm one person who believes in promoting enterprise between India and the United States. It's not that it's not happening. A lot of that is happening. As you all know, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, Mr. Lakshman Narasimhan. Narasimhan is the CEO of Starbucks. Sundar Pichai is the CEO of Google. Satya Nadella is the CEO of Microsoft. These companies have done phenomenally well. These are global international companies based out of the United States. And that's a story in a good part of Silicon Valley. a lot of people of Indian origin are in Silicon Valley. They're contributing to the wealth of the nation, and they're also very happy to be able to be Indians in America, immigrants like me. I went to the United States about 26 or 27 years ago. I have never faced anywhere, wherever I've been, in Chicago, Cincinnati, Seattle, Dallas, Houston, upstate New York, I have never seen the kind of bullying and harassment that my family and I have been subjected to over the last few years. And I'm still in the throes of that. Now, it's not just me. Other Asian families have also been experiencing this bullying, but most of the time, this is the problem with us Asian people. Now, Asia is a huge continent. Unfortunately, there's another misunderstanding in the United States. In the United States, if you go to the media thinks Asia means only Japan, China, Singapore, Vietnam, Southeast Asia. No. Asia also includes Arabs. It also includes Indians, Pakistanis, Bhutanese, Sri Lankans, Nepalese people, Maldivian people, Bangladeshi people, Afghanistan people. They're all Asians. But unfortunately, when you say it doesn't resonate with the media, that's what I find, because I wanted to get my story out to the media. Not a single media person reports my story or my wife's story and what my daughter has been through. Reports. They don't want to report. But whereas something happens to a Chinese person or any other Oriental person or a black person or a Hispanic person, it gets reported. So the other thing is, Asian people are generally, they're not confrontational. They're hardworking people. You look around, you see Indians, Pakistanis, Vietnamese, all hardworking people. They all worked hard to make their money. And that's what America is all about, enterprise. And they don't harm other people. They live their lives according to the cultures that they came from, and they try to propagate the culture. America facilitates that and makes it possible. You'll find temples, mosques, churches, other faith organizations across the US. And to experience something like this is terrible. In my own neighborhood, there are Korean Americans, Singaporean Americans, Malaysian Americans, East European Americans, and all of these people have experienced different levels of bullying and harassment. Some have even fled the neighborhood. Some have even tried to sell their property and go away. When my own daughter was attacked in the year 2021, around February 21st to 23rd, this person who's a bully, he brought his SUV right up to her. She was standing on our easement and taking some pictures for a school project. And he raced the engine and stared her down. My child came running up to the second floor where I was working out of my home. And we were experiencing this bullying for some time. Our garbage bins were not being allowed to be serviced. Any guests coming to our home, their license plates were noted and they were stared down. Debris was being piled up on the easement. He's not supposed to do these kind of things. And then abusing us, calling me fuckface, asshole, cure, disgusting stuff, right? You step out of the house, fuckface. Or, when I come out of my garage, what he does is he starts playing Queen's music, Freddie Mercury's Another One Bites the Dust, Another One Bites the Dust, and he keeps on increasing the volume till I drive off. Or he'll play, We Are the Champions, my friend. He doesn't realize that Freddie Mercury was actually an Indian. His original name, Freddie Mercury's original name of the group Queen was Adi Balsara. He was a Parsi from India. His parents migrated abroad to the Western countries, and he put on the name Freddie Mercury. Interesting, right? Somebody who has an attitude that he's race superior listens to Freddie Mercury and likes his music. He's an Indian guy. This is the joke. Anyways, this is some of the things that he does. We tried to sell our house and move away. He put nails on our driveway. There were 4 families who were interested in buying our home. We gave full disclosure of all the behaviors because we didn't want this to backfire on us. They said, Mr. George, we love your home, but we do not want to live next door to this guy because he'll do the same thing that he's doing to us. We know you're telling us the truth. So this is the predicament. I, as a homeowner, just because I'm brown, I'm a brown skin American, I don't have the rights and privileges. It seems, okay? It's not like that. The laws are very wonderful in the United States, but the practice of the law, the way you can twist the system, because that is done by human beings, right? People who know the system can play with the system to harm other people who are newer to the country. I've been in the US for 26 plus years. I'm an American citizen, but I never had to deal with this kind of a situation. So in one sense, this is a completely whole new territory. My daughter is being bullied. My wife has been bullied. My wife was in emergency for a whole day, and they checked her up and they said, we don't know what's wrong with her. And then one of the doctors asked me, are you all under some kind of stress? I said, yes, we have been bullied. Oh, okay, that explains why your wife fainted. So this is horrible, guys. This should not be happening. Now the police, everybody's nice. I talk to people in administration. I talk to the the sheriffs, the mayor, they're all council members. They're all nice people. But nobody takes action to stop this kind of a menace. Let me tell you, all of America is not like this. California is a huge state. I go down to Southern California, and I go to Orange County. You'll find big billboards there, where the city says, we will not tolerate any kind of bullying, any kind of harassment, any kind of racism. And I want that to happen even in Silicon Valley. I want that our mayor, our council members, our sheriffs to adopt the policy that they will not tolerate any kind of bullying of ordinary citizens like me, you and me. Now, I was talking about Asian people. We generally are not confrontational. We don't understand it when we are bullied like this. So we kind of withdraw. My wife and I and our daughter, we withdrew into a shell. During COVID time, it was very difficult to approach any of the city officials, all the offices. There was so much confusion during COVID, right? The initial years of COVID. But here, COVID is over, and we're still struggling. Well, the matter is in court. We have a 7-year restraining order now, 2 + 5, 7-year restraining order. This fellow has gone ahead and appealed a whole bunch of, and he's lost all the appeals. But this doesn't stop. He comes up with newer ways to harass us. Every time he harasses us, we call the police. The police comes and gives us the pink slip, pink, incident ticket. A report is written up. This stupid thing keeps continuing, and no end is put to it. Spurious lawsuits are launched against me for no rhyme or reason. You can file spurious lawsuits and never let it come to trial. You see the game? You see how these games are being played? You can do these kind of stupid things, and gosh, the kind of issues that we have weathered, it has affected my practice, my responsibilities to my clients. Who's going to compensate for all that? Nothing. I mean, don't expect. When you are, then this is your color. I'm proud of my brown skin. You know what? We are all human beings. Whether you're white, red, black, yellow, brown, you cut the wrist over here, we all bleed red, okay? There's no separate color distinguishing. There's only one red. That, oh, this is an Indian's blood, or that's a Chinese blood, or there's no. We all bleed red. So this is very unfortunate that these kind of things happen. America is a great country, don't get me wrong. I'm not disparaging my nation. I'm a proud American. But these kind of things are still happening in pockets, folks. Not long ago, there was an Indian student who was shot dead in Chicago. 3 ladies in Dallas, Texas, or Houston, one of these places, about maybe a year plus ago, were similarly bullied. Fortunately, they took action in Dallas or Houston, one of these places in Texas, to stop it. But in our case, it hasn't stopped, guys. It hasn't stopped. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of bullies. I'm not afraid of these kind of people. I want to expose this, and I want to make sure that tax-paying citizens are honored in our country. I have an expectation. You know what? When I told this to some people, some of my friends in Florida and in Dallas and in Illinois, they said, Koshi, buy a gun and shoot at him, all around him. He won't dare. I don't believe in violence. I just do not believe in violence. I don't believe in buying guns and doing this kind of stuff. What happened yesterday or 2 days back in Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, where Reverend John Osteen's church, there was a shooting. Do guns solve problems? No, guns don't solve problems. Guns only make things worse. This is why, in order to get inspired, I went to Ahmedabad, to Gujarat, to Gandhi Ashram. The wonderful man, Mahatma Gandhi, he experienced this kind of stuff in South Africa, and he experienced this kind of harassment even in India. That's why Gandhi gave up his Western attire and donned a loincloth and identified with the common man of India to get freedom for India. And you know what? He didn't do any violence. Go and watch the movie Gandhi. You'll get an idea about what I'm talking about. That was more than 150 years ago when that incident happened in South Africa, where he was thrown out of a train. And guess what? The person who supported him was a white man, not another fellow Indian. I mean, there were Indians who came around Gandhi and they stood by him. But there was a white man called Reverend C.F. Andrews. He followed Mahatma Gandhi all the way to India from South Africa, and he also went to prison with Mahatma Gandhi. That's the way we have to see each other not by the color of our skin, by the conscience of our character. That's how we need to be assessed as human beings, right? And he followed him all the way. That's the way. I don't see color when I see I see a human being. He may have a black complexion, yellow complexion, red complexion, brown, white, whatever it may be. We all have aspirations. You know, I'm not doing this to become a target of abuse. I'm doing this to just be fair. Yeah, there are matters in court. All these spurious lawsuits that this fellow has filed against me and my wife are being addressed by our lawyers. We have a competent lawyer who is helping out. But you know what? He derails our lawyers. That's also another thing that he does. And these are subtle ways of doing things. You can't go to the police and say, excuse me, my lawyer has been derailed. No, you can't do that. So you have to fight this. And I'm trying to address this non-violently, peacefully, by expressing my grievances. I went to Indian American politicians. You know what these guys did? They turn around and look away from me as if they don't know me. Is that the way? Is that the way we elect leaders? Shameful. You know who's standing with me? Caucasian and other race people, not my own Indian Americans. There are so many Indian American NGOs in the Bay Area. Oh, one of them is standing with me. They all know what's going on. They won't stand because you know what? It's the fear. It's this fear of colonialism. We were ruled by the British for 200 years. That fear has not gone out. It's not gone out of our genes. We may have gone abroad. We are all hardworking people. We live well abroad. But the fear of the white man is still there. And people who bully you, not every white man is bad. Please don't get me wrong. I have many, many Caucasian friends and I have deep respect for them. Some of these people who are standing with me, I don't even want to name some of the incidents where they stood by me like a rock. But I can tell you without battling an eye, I love my Caucasian friends. I love my Hispanic friends who stand with me. I wish my Indian American friends would get over their fears. That's one of the reasons I'm doing this video. You know, when I was told, go back to India, water your buffaloes, I want to tell the Western world, those who are ignorant, there are people, corporate America understands the value of Indians, okay? Don't get me wrong. Corporate America knows how valuable Indians are in America. But there are ignorant individuals like this character. I don't know whether he's a white supremacist. I can't name him, I can tag him, but the behavior pretty much feels like a white supremacist. So there are people like this in society who harm others, and how people they just withdraw into a shell. I too could have sold my home at the lowest price, desperate, and left. Yes, I tried that. My wife and I and our daughter, we were living in an Airbnb for 1 year and paying mortgage and property tax on our house where nobody could stay. And we tried that for a year. We tried desperately to sell our house. We couldn't sell our house. He frustrated the realtor from selling it. We could not continue on like that, paying mortgage as well as paying rent in an Airbnb. It was affecting me. It was affecting my wife. We decided to come back. We decided to come back and face this nonsense head on. We're not afraid of death. We're not afraid of death. Fear is what drives majority of the problems for Asians in America. Learn not to be fearful. Learn to stand up for your rights. You know what? If Indian American organizations had stood by me and my wife 3 years ago when I went up to some of them, I wouldn't be facing this situation today. You know why? Union is strength. Now the bully knows Indians don't stand with each other. That's very sad. Nobody ever called us or asked us, how are you guys doing? We were living in fright, folks. We've graduated to a point that we are not afraid, but believe me, the stuff that we have been through, I don't even want to go into the details. My point is, I'm not trying to gain sympathy over here. I'm not holding a pity party, guys. We will fight our own battle, we will win it. And we will know that justice will prevail in America. But I'm saying this for the benefit of those Indians who are still frightened, those of you who are experiencing the kind of bullying that we are experiencing, or any other form of bullying and racism, or use of expletives. Go to your council member. He's the most local representative that has been elected. Tell her what's going on. Go to your mayors. approach these non-profit organizations in NGOs, these organizations, whether they're Malayali organizations, Bengali organizations, or other Indian organizations. India is a country made up of more than 30 states and union territories. Each state representative is in the US, believe me, in the form of some association, because Indians are all across the US. Indians are the most valuable human resource in the United States. I can say that with absolute confidence, because I'm a certified public accountant. I meet lots of people. I go around the country doing speeches at events. I know the capacity and the capabilities of our people. And so this is more for other people to feel inspired. I'm now in Kerala, my home state. What a beautiful state, isn't it? So pristine, so nice, it's so wonderful. In fact, these 25 days that I've been here in India, whether in Gujarat, in Karnataka, in Tamil Nadu, or in Kerala now, I feel a resurgence of energy and strength and courage. I'm going back to the US with that resurgent courage in me and feeling empowered to stand up. You know, I have a tax season ahead of me. I'm going to be very focused. I'm not going to let this guy's playing the loud volume on his radio and saying another one bites the dust, or we are the champions and all this nonsense. He can do anything. He'll stand there and he claps at me. He makes fun of my wife. He starts laughing. All this kind of nonsense stuff. You think these things bug or irritate us anymore? No, it doesn't. We have a restraining order. We'll call the police. But more than that, we want this kind of thing to stop. I have seen, let me end with this story. I saw a 75-year-old man who is my neighbor, who is of Vietnamese origin. He went and begged for forgiveness before this fellow. He went on his knees. I didn't see this, but some of our other neighbors saw it and said, my God, Koshi, he did this. And you know what? That fellow extracted his pound of flesh. He made him sign an agreement that he would stand with him against me. Poor fellow. I mean, and then the gentleman tells, and his wife tells me, we are so sorry, Koshi, we did that. We were forced to sign an agreement. I said, don't worry about it. I understand. They're old age. He's a very senior person in a very prestigious Silicon Valley company, retired. He should be having a peaceful life. But look at what this bully does to him. So this is the predicament, not just him, but other people are living in. You should hear, I have stories of people who have lived here before, and they are all afraid to come out and say things, because you know what? They don't want to face lawsuits. You don't want to face these spurious lawsuits. It's not fun. I am a public person because I, as a licensed CPA, I have a legal obligation and moral obligations towards my clients. And this I see as a moral obligation, not just to my clients, but also to society at large. We, as chartered accountants and CPAs, are conscience keepers. We are conscience keepers. We look at accounts, we look at taxes. We make sure that the right kind of taxes are being paid. Nobody's evading taxes. That's our job. That's our duty. That's why we've been licensed. I feel a responsibility to the people of Indian origin to stand up when you face these situations. Do not be afraid. Fear is what a bully thrives on. Fear is what a narcissist or a psychopath strives on. Don't let them ruin your lives, guys. The quality of your life is in your hands. Whatever I'm doing for the sake of society at large, I hope you get the message. Some of you who don't, I mean, I'm on social media, right? This is primarily, this video is done for those of us immigrants who are living in America, from any part of India, of Asia or India. If you're facing bullying, guys, feel empowered to. The fact is not in selling your house and running away. How long are you going to run away? The British left India more than 200 years ago. We've been free as a nation since 1947, and now you are in a free country called United States of America. Are you going to be continuing to live frightened lives? Don't do it. So these are some of the things that I wanted to convey. It's been heavy on my heart that I wanted to share this. I don't need to keep doing this. I'm not going to keep on sounding like a broken record on social media. I have better things to do in life, guys. But the last 3 years of my life, through the circumstances that my wife and myself and our daughter have been through, we want to tell you that we are stronger. We're not going to be frightened. We're not frightened of these kind of people. This is wrong. This is unethical. Let's just stop. Thank you, folks. A salute from the beautiful Pamba River, and thanks to my elder first cousin for holding the selfie stick and having this, my iPhone on camera mode and video mode. Thank you so much, guys. Au revoir. Adios. Bye-bye.